that's
yeah,
that
you'd be
guy.
surprised. You know, no matter what group you think, they don't listen.
Yeah.
You know, like fucking 8 of them come up to you to show. You're like, oh my god, I can't believe I made fun of one-legged Jews. Why would I do that? They do listen. So you can't. So you have to just kind of write it off and go, I'm gonna bother some people saying this because there's no way they're never gonna hear you.
Yeah. Have you had a one-legged Jew experience?
A lot.
Yeah. That's cool. Who's like? Do you get a lot of like hate on Twitter and stuff?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Sure. But it is what it is. I mean, it's it's funny with Twitter and social media because a lot of them come off like they're these hardcore critics and this and that. But it's like a lot of them are just literally. They need the same thing college students need with safe space.
Yeah, right.
Because they can't just come out and they've gotten mad at me when I've said I despise their anonymity. I don't respect it. Because it's like, look, we're not in fucking communist China, all right? You're not criticizing the regime where you're going to be thrown in jail.
Right. Yeah.
You just want the safe space. You want to weigh in, but you don't want to weigh in as yourself.
Yeah.
So I get a lot of it, but I kind of take it with a grain of salt. But it doesn't mean that it's not legit criticism either. Like I did the chip animation, and some people really loved it, and a lot of people hated it. And you have to weed through hateful comments, like because a lot of them are just being cunts. But some of them made great points. So you have to like weed through and go, okay, well that was a really smart criticism.
Yeah.
They're right. This didn't capture Bob, but whatever. You know what I mean? But let's say between reading that, you have to read, you're a fucking piece of shit.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, all you had to say was, this is why I didn't like it, and I actually would have given weight to what you just said.
Yeah. Right. Well, I feel like, I mean, half those people are just mad about the schism, the O&A schism.
Oh, that's a tremendous part of it, yeah.
Why I don't understand taking sides with, like, the end of two grown men's friendship.
It's a weird thing, you know. It's like that's basically what it is. It's like a divorce, and they're really mad.
Well, Dad gave me a better birthday last year, so I like his house more.
They look at it like, and again, I can only speak from what I've heard from them.
Yeah.
But a lot of them come from a place of like, this was a show that. It was a different fan base. It was a very aggressive fan base. And very
well, I remember when
taunting.
When I was a teenager, it was like, wasn't it like a bit, like a pest bit to like blow a fucking air horn in like a local news reporter's ear?
No, that was the one that ended that bit actually. They got sued. Yeah.
Says, let's make somebody fucking deaf.
Yeah, it was just about being stupid and getting their name out there.
Yeah.
But when their show ended, people really did split down the middle because it was frustrating for them to see this thing that they love so much gone. Like one day it was there and one day it was gone. And then when Opie and myself didn't go with Anthony, that's when a lot of the anger came out. Like they were angry immediately that we didn't quit.
Yeah, right.
Which contractually we couldn't have. We would have gotten sued by Sirius. And then when we re-upped with Sirius and didn't go with Ant, I always kind of held out a secret hope that there would be some kind of reconciliation. But as time went on, it became apparent that it would not be.
But the thing I don't understand about the side-taking thing is, like, have you never had a group of friends in your life? I mean, anybody I know knows somebody or knows two different people that fucking hate each other.
Sure.
And they can be friends with both of them. And that's like a social dynamic that everyone has to navigate. And then these people just don't understand that.
I think what bothers them is they looked at it like, these guys are very, and I mean, see, these guys, meaning me too, are very real people. They tell us how things are for them, and they tell us what life is or how they see life. And then all of a sudden, this, as you said, schism, this thing happens, and it's not the way they saw it. They're like, these fucking guys were fake. They didn't tell us that they didn't like each other. They acted like everything was okay. To me, I mean, I was there every day, so I saw a lot of it.
Yeah.
But there were things that came out afterwards that I wasn't even aware of. You know, I didn't know exactly how Opie felt. There were times where he said things were good, and there were times where he said things were bad. So I think the fans, if I'm sitting there and I'm not 100% sure, like there's been a couple things that have happened in the time since the show ended that surprised me.
Yeah.
But then the fans also have to be realistic too. It's like Keith Richards and Mick Jagger really don't like each other.
Yeah. Right.
You know, Kiss didn't like each other for years.
Yeah.
Ozzy and Sabbath didn't get along at one point. It's how it is in a creative collaboration.
Right.
The difference is when you're hearing music, you're not hearing real opinions on a real-time daily basis.
Yeah.
You're not hearing the fucking recording sessions.
Right.
Where they're yelling at each other. So when it's just a different dynamic with talk radio, man. Fans get very attached to it. But the only thing that bothers me about the fans' reaction is the way they've kind of turned on the three of us And it's like, man, we made you laugh for fucking 10 years.
Yeah.
The guys that hated us all along, that's different.
Yeah.
But it's like all of a sudden to have such vitriolic anger towards guys that made you, like I've been pissed off at people who I enjoyed too.
Yeah.
But I didn't get that vengefully angry at them.
I guess it's kind of like a finding out like wrestling is fake sort of thing.
But it wasn't a fake dynamic.
Right.
It was I mean what you saw, I mean we were trying to be funny, and there was a lot of it they saw before it ended too. But yeah, maybe it is along those lines. They just feel deceived to a certain point. But, you know, it's like I have to let more of my personal life hang out than fucking almost anybody in showbiz. Like, what do you want?
Right.
Like, that's what bothers me. It's like, what do you fucking guys want? Like, I've told you more about myself than most performers would have ever told you about themselves. I told you to be funny. I told you in times when there was a slow news day. You know what I mean? I just started spitting shit out.
Yeah.
Hey, sorry if I let you down. What do you want me to tell you?
Yeah.
Half of you don't even use your real names when you yell at us.
Yeah.
I've told you things that most guys would never have told you.
That's like a funny comparison to like the band thing. You know, like I always have had a lot of respect for like the Brian Setzer Orchestra, that he could manage all those people, that band didn't break up. You have that many people and they never had an issue.
Or they never had a visible issue. I'm sure they had them.
Yeah. But you know, how many musicians are there in that band?
I don't even know.
It's a whole orchestra.
Yeah.
And they hold that together. Do you think like Philharmonic orchestras have like first chair violin has a heroin problem?
He fucks the tuba player's wife.
Yeah.
It probably happens all the time, and they just boot him, and you never know. It's just another jerk off in a tux. There's no attachment. There's no attachment to those people, so you'll never see them coming and going.
Yeah.
You know,
I would love to see a showboating like cello player. Just you gotta keep it together. You can no more. I don't know. Fucking just comes in. Makeup, I don't know, just like spandex.
See, I don't know shit about the orchestra. I'm sorry I took this in this
I'm
direction.
really reaching here.
Yeah,
Why?
I
I
got
mean,
bow
the
ties,
orchestra's
violins. That's all I really understand.
I had cello, that was it.
Yeah,
I had
yeah.
tuba. I don't think tubas are in orchestras, but I said it.
I'm sure there are once in a while.
Yeah.
But maybe that's where the rift is. You know, maybe one guy shows up with a tuba because he's better at that, and they're like, we don't need this. Whatever it just happened.
That's how marching bands started. They literally walked out, just didn't stop, just kept going.
Sorry, I'm clearing my throat so much. Just fucking. I realize it's coffee that does it to me. It's not. I don't drink dairy at all, so it's like that fucking thing you get. It's caffeine. I gotta quit caffeine.
Yeah, you're like a diet and exercise guy now, right?
Yeah, but I've been eating like shit lately, so I get self-hatred immediately.